Hello everyone, welcome back to Run the NBA, and today I wanted to talk about Malachi Flynn, one of the many young up-and-coming players for the Toronto Raptors, and someone that really burst onto the scene at the end of last season, starting 14 games when some players were missing time due to protocols and injury, and earned himself a Rookie of the Month in the Eastern Conference honor at the back end of the year, which was very much deserved. And so today I want to talk about Malachi Flynn, the role that he can have for the Toronto Raptors this upcoming season, and what actual realistic expectations are for him moving into next year and moving forward as far as his continued development for this Raptors team and in the NBA. With that being said, if you do go on to enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. But with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about Malachi Flynn. Malachi Flynn was his rookie year last year, as previously mentioned. He was the 29th overall pick in the 2020 draft after being a four-year product at San Diego State, as well as Washington State earlier on. This is someone that was expected to have a bit of an immediate impact, given that he was a four-year product, and as much as he definitely did have some inconsistencies throughout the season and did look shaky early on, he definitely came into his own later on in the year. So looking at his stats for the back end of the year is a lot more indicative than the whole year for what could potentially translate for next season, because this is someone who only shot 37% from the field, 32% from deep, but showed some playmaking skills. I could argue is already pretty close to on par with the playmaking skills of Fred VanVleet, and I think has the upside to be a much truer playmaking point guard than Fred VanVleet ever will be. I think his scoring potential is a bit overblown by some Toronto Raptors fans, but I think he's a very good playmaker. I think he still has the ability to be a decent three-point shooter, and that'll continue to be improved on over the upcoming seasons. And I think he has a bit of an ability to finish at the rim as well. His mid-range game isn't overly relevant right now, but it is mainly three and at the rim, which is fine coming into the league. You don't necessarily need to have an amazing mid-range game to start things off, but there is definitely a thought process for me of this is never going to be an elite scorer. I think he can be a fine scorer, but I think he's primarily a playmaker, someone who is very tenacious and solid on the defensive end. He averaged nearly a steal per game last year in just under 20 minutes. But let's go ahead and just talk about what his numbers look like towards the back end of the year and just use that as a talking point for how I think his career is going to progress and what his role is going to be next year for the Toronto Raptors. Malachi Flynn's role and minutes drastically increased in April and May. He definitely just naturally started to get into the team a little bit more as the season went along. He hardly played at all early on in the season, and then slowly worked his way into the rotation, started to get a little bit more comfortable, and finally came into his own in April. In the month of April, he saw himself bring up his field goal shoot percentage to 43%, shooting 41% from deep, averaging over 10 points per game, and getting in around 5 assists per game. His play drastically improved. Defensively, he looked a lot more comfortable. He's averaging over a steal per game. Again, in and on passing lanes, his man-on-man defenses looked solid, and was able to man up on the opposing team's best guards and hold his own quite well, which for any rookie guard is always going to be a positive, and he definitely has a lot of upside to be good on the defensive end, and I think he can still put on some size to be even stronger and more of a threat on the defensive end. And he really showed his ability to be a good three-point shooter off the catch and shoot or off of the dribble, which is going to be very valuable for him moving forward in his NBA career. Now, I don't get the sense from Malachi Flynn that he's going to ever be some elite scorer, but I do get the sense that he could be some decent low-level starter, but probably ideally a fairly good sixth man for you. He can run your offense, be your primary ball handler, be your primary playmaker, while also creating a bit of a shot for himself from the three-point line or at the rim, and also being able to create a shot for others while being good defensively. I think that's where the upside is for Malachi Flynn. I don't think he's ever going to be some 18-plus night scorer. I don't see Malachi Flynn as someone who still has a ton of upside, but I think he will definitely continue to get better throughout the next couple of years of his NBA career. But it is worth noting Malachi Flynn is already 23. He did come in as a four-year project, or a four-year prospect out of college. And that's not to say that players like that can't continually improve throughout their NBA career and still have a lot of upside. I personally just don't see the high-end 18, 20 plus a night scorer upside in Malachi Flynn. And that's no dig against Malachi Flynn, because I think he's still going to be a very serviceable and very high quality NBA player. I just don't see him being at that elite of a level. But I think for next year, he's going to come in and be a solid backup guard for the Toronto Raptors again, regardless of how long Goran Dragic is on the team. I think he's going to still get significant minutes in and around 20 minutes a night, because the Raptors are going to value his continued development. I think having Goran Dragic on the team is going to be a good mentor for him, because I think Goran Dragic plays to a very similar type of style that Malachi Flynn can play to and can develop to be. Maybe not quite at the level of the peak of Goran Dragic, where he was an all-star, but into that similar type of mold where you're a good three-point shooter, can create a shot for yourself and others and finish well at the rim, as Goran Dragic has done for so many years in the NBA. And that is my thoughts on Malachi Flynn moving forward and for next season. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think, Toronto Raptors fans or not. I'm curious to see what you think. I know there's some Toronto Raptors fans that, at least to how I feel personally, are extremely overvaluing and over-projecting what Malachi Flynn can do in the future. But then there might be others that are sleeping on him a little bit as well and not completely understanding how impactful Malachi Flynn can be in the NBA moving forward. That being said, if you did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And if you want to hear my thoughts on other young players or rookies heading into next season, then be sure to click the box on the right hand side of the screen, and I'll be sure to have one. I'll probably put the Scotty Barnes video on the box on the left hand side of the screen, so be sure to click that as well if you're interested in all the other young players for the Toronto Raptors. I will have links to the videos I've done for those down below in the description if you're interested as well. That being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.